Hello my Wolfpack and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Competitive Guide video. So today we're covering Hatterene. This is an update video for Hatterene because it got wow, I can't talk. It got access to a new move in the Isle of Armor update. If you want to go check out the previous video, which does have some slightly different sets, there is a card up in the corner there. We have got 4 sets for Hatterene today. Hatterene is actually a really cool mon. It has really high special attack, really good special defense, really good defense. Its HP is a little bit lacking, which is annoying, but it's even got good attack and it has access to things like Swords Dance as well, so you can even run a physical set. And then base 29 speed is really appalling, but it makes it a really good Trick Room Pokemon as well as being able to set up the Trick Room itself. So honestly, Hatterene is a very, very fun Pokemon to use. First set we've got today is a Calm Mind setup set. So Calm Mind allows for you to set up your special attack and your special defense, increasing those by 1 stage each time that you use it. We've then got leftovers to allow us to heal ourselves up whilst we're still using those Calm Minds, because realistically you're going to be taking damage. I did go for anticipation here, so any super effective or OHKO moves, you will start shuddering, which can be quite effective in knowing if your opponent has got certain moves, but you've also got things like Healer, which isn't really relevant to singles, and you've also got Magic Bounce. Magic Bounce can actually be really, really good. It bounces back anything like Stealth Rocks to the Pokemon that's using it, essentially, so it can work very nicely as just an extra mon there, basically meaning that it can't set up any hazards. So Magic Bounce is definitely an option on here as well, but I just wanted to show off Anticipation because we might as well show off at least one more ability. So move-wise on here, we have got Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam is powerful stab, fairy type attack. It's a variety of different Pokemon. Obviously fairy typing is OP essentially. It does a lot of damage to a lot of different Pokemon. Gone for Mystical Fire. Now Mystical Fire will do super effective damage to Steel type Pokemon. Obviously Steel type Pokemon being one of the Pokemon types that you're really intimidated by. You've then got Psychic as a powerful Psychic type attack, and that can hit things like Poison types, super effective damage, so you don't have to worry too much about those. You don't have to worry about Dark types. You do have to worry, I think, about Bug types. I think they are super effective. But you've got the Mystical Fire there as well, so you're covering your weaknesses with this set. And obviously Calm Mind I've already spoken about. So EVs, there are a couple of ways of running this. You can run this as max HP and max special attack to have as much attack as possible. You could run this as, sorry, that's with a modest nature. You could run this as max HP and max special defense with a calm nature, so you'd have the more special defense and less attack, and then like 4 EVs and special attack. Or you could even run this as max HP and max defense with a bold nature, so more defense, less attack, and that will basically allow you to become a lot more tanky, and so you can set up potentially 1 or 2 more Calm Minds before going to town and really destroying the opposing Pokemon. So it's up to you how you decide to run it. I really like running max defense, max HP Pokemon with Calm Minds. I just think it works so nicely to make them an all-round tank, but obviously it does depend on their stats, but I think Hatterene definitely does have those stats. Going on to the second set, again, I've gone for leftovers here. You could go for like berries or any assortment of things, really. But leftovers does work quite nicely. We've got Magic Bounce, bouncing back any of those annoying moves, such as Stealth Rock, Spikes, etc., onto the original Pokemon or the opposing team. You've then got Trick Room. Now, Hatterene is a really good Trick Room setter and user, so you could literally do that set that I've just gone through before and take off Calm Mind and just put Trick Room on, and that would have fairly similar effects as to what you could do, because you'd be outspeeding most Pokemon. We've then got Thunder Wave on here, so Trick Room sets up the Twisted Dimension. Now, if you're in a scenario where you can't really use Trick Room, so having Thunder Wave on there can work quite effectively. So let's say that your opponent is also running a very, very slow team, but they have not got the Trick Room, or they've got like quite slow Pokemon, or most of your Pokemon that would take advantage of the Trick Room and fainted or something, so you can then use Thunder Wave to lower the speed of the opposing team. So those moves, whilst I wouldn't typically use them in conjunction, I think using them on the same mon in this instance can work quite nicely. I don't know if I've explained that very well, but Thunder Wave, if you can't use the Trick Room, I think could be very, very handy, rather than just having a mon that's basically wasted because it can't do its main function. We've then got Aromatherapy. Aromatherapy allows for you to heal up the status moves of any Pokemon on your team. That can be really effective and really helpful, especially if you're like toxic. Well, basically any ailment will be problematic for you. Do be cautious of your Pokemon that do deal with things like guts, because if they've got that flame or guts already set up, you do have to consider whether the aromatherapy would be appropriate for it, because if that gets cured, it has to go back in and wait to the end of a turn before it can actually activate its guts ability. So just consider that as an option. And then finally, I've gone for Psychic just as a really good attacking move. You could go for Dazzling Gleam, you could go for Psyshock. There are lots of different options, but it's up to you. EV's gone for max HP and max special defense with a sassy nature, so more special defense, less speed, and 4 EVs in special attack. Again, you could go for the max HP, max defense. Now, max HP, max defense, I believe, is a relaxed nature, so you could use that if you wanted to. Moving on to our third Hatterene, as I said, it does get access to Swords Dance, so it can double its attack stat from 306 to 612, which is honestly very, very high. Then you've got the Life Orb there, boosting that by 1.3 times, which takes you up another 180 or so, which will take you basically to 800 in your attack stat, which obviously is very, very, very high. And we've also got a few good moves here as well. So we've got Play Rough, which is a powerful fairy type attack, boosted by Stab, hits a lot of different Pokemon. You've got Power Whip, which is a strong grass type attack, again, hitting a variety of different Pokemon and just for a bit of coverage. And I finally put Nuzzle on here as well. I thought Nuzzle works really cool because not only does it have a 20 base damage, it also paralyzes the Pokemon. So, and it's 100% accurate. So honestly, Nuzzle can be really, really cool, and I thought that it just works very nicely on Hatterene in this scenario to slow down the opposing Pokemon. Now you could go for Facade just in case you get burnt, for example. You've got Psycho Cut, you've got Shadow Claw as options, so you've got a few different things that you could run as well as that. EV's gone for max HP, max attack with an adamant nature, so more attack, less special attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. Now, if you're going for this set, you could definitely go for a different Trick Room user. So, for example, like Porygon 2 could work very nicely as a Trick Room setup Pokemon. So you can then come in with Hatterene, get that Swords Dance up, and then you have maybe 3 or 4 turns where you can really just go to town and start destroying Pokemon. And then when the dimensions twist again, you've got this natural bulk regardless, which allows for you to be able to live a couple of hits. Now, obviously, do be cautious of the Life Orb here because that can be a bit problematic for you. I do just want to check if you learn Recover, because I'm not 100% sure if Recover is learnt by Hatterene. It is not learnt by Hatterene, which is kind of annoying, but obviously it's definitely something that you could go for like a Wish user in another team, essentially. Not another team, another Pokemon. And finally, we've got Gigantamax Hatterene. So on here, Gigantamax Hatterenes, and let me just double check which one it actually is. It is the Fairy type move. So whenever it uses Dazzling Gleam in this scenario as a max move, it will turn to G-Max Smite, which will confuse the opposing Pokemon. And that can actually be really helpful for you. Basically, confusion, I don't know the percentages. I think it's like 25% chance it will hurt itself in confusion, maybe more than that. And that can be really helpful for you in a lot of different scenarios, because it can mean that they're going to get damage on themselves and not get damage on you in some scenarios. Obviously, it is a luck game, but, I mean, it's Pokemon. Realistically, there is a lot of RNG to it. On here, I've got Terrain Extender with the Expanding Force. So Expanding Force, when you Dynamax, will turn to Max Mindstorm, setting up the Psychic Terrain. Psychic Terrain means there will be no priority, which is really good as well, and also will allow for the Expanding Force to do 1.5 times damage to a lot of different Pokemon. Yeah, so that hits really hard, and the Terrain Extender extends from 5 turns to 8 turns, which obviously allows for you to get more turns of Expanding Force. As I said, Dazzling Gleam goes to G-Max Spite, which can work very nicely. We've got Mystical Fire if you want to set up the Sun for any reason. Let's say you have a Chlorophyll user, such as maybe Shiftry in the back. I don't know why Shiftry just popped into my head, but you know, that maybe you do. And then you've got Giga Drain, which is more designed to get your health back afterwards. After you've Dynamaxed, but you could set up the Max Overgrowth if you have like a Grassy Glide Pokemon or a Pokemon such as Colossal that's really weak to things like Earthquake. And you could also run this in the double scenario with like a Trick Room Pokemon next to you. So I think Dusclops is a really good Trick Room user, but then you've got your Ghost type weaknesses. So you could go for something like Porygon 2 again, which would work very nicely as a combination with Hatterene. EV's gone for max HP and max special attack with a modest nature, so more special attack, less attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. That is all for today, so I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Anyways, I'm out of here, so have a good one, and I'll see you soon.